Hi there, welcome. This is Vince of vinceprep.com making another video, a series of videos about interview training. Usually I try to make my videos timeless, meaning I don't mention specific current events so that this video might still be useful in a couple years. I can't do it in this case. Tonight, real time, in the US, there's a presidential debate. It's anticipated that 100 million people are going to watch this debate between the US presidential candidates, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. That's a huge number of people, and it's got me thinking about the relationship. I believe that you could learn a lot by studying how presidential candidates prepare for debates. I think the way that they train is very similar to the way that you should be training for your MBA admissions interview. The differences are obvious. You're not running for president. The similarities, though, it's a high-stakes event. The outcome of there's been studies, you can look it up later. I'm a big history buff, and I do like politics. I don't know if you do, but if you're interested, just Google or look up 1960 presidential debate. People believe changed the outcome of that presidential election between Nixon and Kennedy. People also believe that scholars, historians, media people believe that the outcome, the 2000 debate definitely influenced the outcome of the election between then Vice President Gore and Texas Governor George W. Bush. Tonight, this election, this debate may change the outcome of this election. God, I hope not. I will not pretend to be neutral here. If Donald Trump wins the United States presidency, I just can't imagine what's going to happen. Maybe he won't, maybe he will, maybe it'll all be okay. God help us. All I know is I have an 11-year-old son who's half American, and he keeps asking me, and I do my best to try not to sound prejudicial when I explain why someone might support, why a reasonable, sane, God, loving, kind person might actually vote for Trump. Sorry if you're a supporter and I've just offended you. And also why it's been hard for Mrs. Clinton to persuade. Anyway, I talk politics with my parents, not so much with my wife or mother-in-law, but with my son a little bit. And again, I try not to make him biased. And I just try to explain it logically. Okay, I'm not making a video about politics here. I'm making a video about interview training. So back to you. Study the ways, look up, there's a recent New York Times article, which is what got me thinking about this, it goes back and studies and interviews the people who were coaching, presidential candidates pay for great interview coaching and debate prep coaches. The best client, so Google the interview, Google the Times story, very interesting. Talking to the Gore team, how they prepared him, what they now look back and think went wrong. On the other side, the Bush team, what went right. Very, very cool stuff for geeks like me who do interview training as a profession, and maybe interesting for you, the MBA applicant. I'm based in Japan. Too many Japanese just look at this as an English test, and they apply all of their own fears about English to the interview. Yes, it's in English, but it's far different from TOEFL speaking, for example. It's a strategic conversation, and it is the reason why I have non-Japanese clients sometimes, Americans who still want interview training. Japanese are shocked by that. Wow, some Japanese are shocked. Why would a native speaker need interview training? Well, it's a strategic conversation. It's not an English quiz. And again, to criticize a little bit on my home market of Japan, people here make a huge mistake in preparing a script and then memorizing that script. I'm a stage actor. I did Shakespeare. I had to memorize Shakespeare's words before I could stand on stage and say them. I couldn't just make them up. But interview is also not acting. So just memorizing them. So an actor memorizes Shakespeare's words or whoever, the playwright's words, and then gets past memorization to infuse them with feeling. But that's a really hard process. Why bother? I'm making this video right now. I am not working from a script. I have vague thoughts in my head, and maybe I'm talking too much because I didn't practice much. My point is, have a framework. What's interesting about this Times article is they talk about how Vice President Gore's team, in the end, it didn't matter for other reasons because Gore's attitude was all wrong. But they took, hundreds of pages of policy stuff and boiled it down to like an index card. And so if you're going to make a script, go past the script. Some of you, we at Agos will say, don't memorize, don't make a script. But some of you will. And maybe it's good. Maybe you should. But don't stop there. All I'm saying is making a script actually is going to take a lot more time because you have to go past the script. First of all, you make a script, then you memorize it, then you say it as if you didn't memorize it, hiding the fact that you memorized it, like I used to do with Shakespeare. So you believe that it's real and credible, which is really hard, and if you've never studied acting, that's a lot of work in it itself. Then deconstruct the script to a series of note cards and then sort of unmemorize it and say it like I am now as if I've never said it before. In fact, I have never said this before, and so it does seem not memorized and maybe a little bit rough. My point is, there's all kinds of different ways to interview and prepare for interviews. I have my mirror method, which comes from acting. Some consultants who have good results will tell you to make a script, and so I don't want to confuse you. You've got to find your own way. All I want to say is that my team at Agos as a company has 25 years of expertise doing this. I personally have almost 15 years of expertise doing this. Agos consultant team collectively has, I need to calculate, much more than 25 years. All of the 9 members of my team have done interview training for years and years and years. Work with a trusted professional. Don't think of this as just an English test. Do think of it as a strategic conversation. Just as tonight's presidential debate might change the course of history, your interview performance could very well change your interview result, which would certainly impact your history of where you end up going to school. So that's it for now. As always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel to get the latest updates. Best of luck with your interviews, and bye for now.